What will become of the world once civilization is no more? Post-apocalyptic movies are a window into a future no one wants to see come true. When a cataclysmic event occurs, and the old world becomes a mere memory, the survivors who are left are the ones who will write new stories in whatever kind of world they have to live in. In this list, we'll be taking a look at the top 10 favorite post-apocalyptic movies of Scott Medbury, author of America Falls. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Let's get started. Number 10, HREADS, 1984. While it is technically a TV movie due to poor special effects by today's standards, Scott decided to include HREADS due to its shocking and realistic portrayal of the aftermath of a long-range nuclear strike. HREADS doesn't hold back in his graphic depiction of the death and destruction wrought by an atomic attack. The movie goes on to follow the survivors for years afterward, as the population of Britain dwindles to medieval levels due to nuclear winter, starvation, radiation sickness, and cancer. HREADS doesn't just show us the horrors of nuclear war, but the nightmare fuel that could be its legacy. It was nominated for 7 BAFTA awards in 1985 and won for Best Single Drama, Best Design, Best Film Cameraman, and Best Film Editor. Number 9, Omega Man, 1971. If you're interested in watching a counterpoint to Will Smith's glossy, overly polished adaptation of Matheson's novel I Am Legend, Omega Man takes the same source material and runs it in a completely different direction. Though not without a few artistic liberties, biological warfare is responsible for the end of days and not a mysterious bacterial plague. The overarching message of the 1971 adaptation stays much closer to the spirit of the book, creating a story vastly more profound and thought-provoking cinematic work than the 2007 adaptation. Number 8, Bird Box, 2018. At the center of a plot is a catastrophe that befalls humanity quickly and without warning. Something sinister invades the human world. Something so horrible that anyone laying eyes on it is driven to instantaneous self-destruction. The film focuses on the artist Mallory in 2 time periods with slick use of flashbacks. The first is the timeline that centers on the day of the invasion in the epicenter where Mallory and her sister Jessica fight for survival. The second is 5 years later when a violent incident forces Mallory to flee her new home with 2 5-year-old children to seek a safe haven they've heard about on ham radio broadcasts. With her, she carries a small box containing 3 live birds. To stay alive in this treacherous new world, they must stay blindfolded as they travel, using only the birds in the box to detect danger from the unseen alien life forms. The opening invasion and mass suicide sequence is shocking and sets the scene for a tense story, and that will keep you in suspense until the very end. Number 7, Z for Zachariah, 2015. In a world ruined by radiation, our story begins in a remote valley sheltered by a natural landscape. On a farm, one beautiful young woman survives thanks to livestock and supplies from abandoned supermarkets. Her solitude is interrupted when she spots a man in a hazmat suit enter her valley. She watches him from a distance, stepping in only when he attempts to bathe in water she knows is contaminated. She is too late, and he falls sick with radiation exposure. With the help of medication he carries, she nurses him back to health. Time passes, and feelings grow between. Before the relationship reaches its natural conclusion, though, a third survivor appears, and things get complicated. The 2 men and the young woman find themselves in an emotionally charged love triangle, as the 2 males tussle over potentially the last woman on Earth. This movie poses some interesting questions about our humanity, and extremely watchable. But a warning, you may find the unanswered question at the end frustrating.
Fancy wager?
Number 6, Edge of Tomorrow, 2014. First of the Tom Cruise movies in this list, a rollicking adventure with great special effects, Edge of Tomorrow is an alien fighting Groundhog Day. Tom Cruise plays Major William Cage, a soldier battling in an alien-infested post-apocalyptic wasteland. Cage's day resets each time he dies, and he goes back to training with Special Forces agent Rita, but he is desperate for a way out of the cycle. In this mind-bending time adventure, every encounter gets the pair one step closer to defeating the enemy as they attempt to take the fight straight to the aliens. Whilst it might not always make sense, it's a heck of a lot of fun.
Along with every soldier you are sending, we lose everything.
Number 5, War of the Worlds, 2005. Another Tom Cruise effort, great special effects, and a compelling storyline just nudges Edge of Tomorrow into 6th spot, as it has a more traditional post-apocalyptic feel to it. While aliens that can level our cities as seen in Independence Day are pretty horrific, we're giving this one to extraterrestrials that go the extra mile. Yes, we're talking about the ones that evaporate us or use us as fertilizer to terraform our planet.
They were undone, destroyed, after all of man's weapons and devices had failed, by the tiniest creatures that God in His wisdom put upon this earth.
War of the Worlds is a tight, atmospheric ride, and will have you on the edge of your seat as our hero attempts to keep his children alive in a seemingly hopeless situation. Number 4, The Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes is one of the first post-apocalyptic movies Scott watched and had a huge impact on him. Before later movies chronicled the apes' rise, dawn, or war with humans, we visit the Planet of the Apes. When American astronauts crash land after a malfunction on their spacecraft, they discover a world in which apes are the advanced species, and humans, just like animals, hunted down and kept in captivity.
You know what they say, human see, human do.
Based on a French novel, Franklin J. Schaffner's adaptation deftly blends adventure, science fiction, and social commentary with memorable performances, particularly from Charles Heston as its protagonist. Inspiring sequels and reboots galore, it's a trailblazing tale that continues to influence the way we imagine life after civilization.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
The last scene and reveal is quite possibly the most iconic in post-apocalyptic movie history.
You maniacs! You blow it up! Oh, damn you!
Number 3, Mad Max 2, 1981. In the second installment of the Mad Max franchise, with Mel Gibson reprises his role as Mad Max Rogatansky. Set in a barren wasteland full of nasty, savage folk, the dregs of humanity fight over what's left of the world's oil and gas, and of course, water. Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, is a violent and stylistic depiction of a future where man has returned to his most basic, tribalistic roots, and will leave you hoping that you have a man like Max in your corner when the end comes.
David, I'm just here for the gasoline.
Number 2, 28 Days Later, 2002.
We fight off the infected or we wait until they starve to death, and then what?
Scott considers this the best zombie apocalypse movie ever made, and given that no other zombie flicks made the 10, and this is number 2 on his list, it is a testament to how good it is. Imagine waking up one day to learn that the world has ended. That's the basic premise of 28 Days Later. A movie where zombies are faster than the shambling corpses we've seen in so many other horror movies. A bicycle courier awakens from a coma 28 days after the lethal rage virus has infected England, causing a large-scale societal collapse. Now, he must walk the streets of London looking for other survivors and shelter from the chaos. To make the feeling of survival more real for the actors, the production team shot the film entirely in sequence, a technique rarely used in movie making today. It works. 28 Days Later is a fine example of a post-apocalyptic storytelling, without the pretensions of Hollywood thrown in.
I love you very much.
What?
Keep away from me.
Number 1, The Book of Eli, 2010.
You believe this fucking guy? All right, we're gonna do it the hard way.
This movie is Scott's number 1 pick. A gritty 2010 movie with a fast-paced story, empathetic hero, and a touch of mysticism. The book follows a man traveling through the wasteland of a post-apocalyptic America and is based on the premise that when civilization is nothing but ashes, knowledge of the old world will become a prized commodity. Denzel Washington plays Eli, a man who carries a book he has been tasked to protect. It's a copy of the Bible, perhaps the last in existence, when he stumbles upon a town ruled by a warlord who's been rippling up the countryside looking for the exact same book. A confrontation is sure to ensue. Watch out for the massive twist at the end.
Where are you going?
West.
Can I come with you?
No.
There you go, guys. The top 10 favorite apocalyptic movies of author Scott Medbury. What are your favorite post-apocalyptic movies? Let us know in the comments section. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to check out Scott's America Falls audiobooks, available free on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.